Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project. This is the self-therapeutic psychiatric multimedia project for me to solve the problems, challenges, obstacles in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that I've set for myself and those around me. And so this is the second of two live streams, each 15 minutes each, separated by a 15-minute gap. This is, of course, a continuation of, like I said, the two sub-series, BDMP, as well as Aftermath. And we're running also a Christmas marathon, which, by the way, has run on to even 2 days later. And that's where we are right now. So that's a little bit of context as to where we are based off the previous live streams and the previous sub-series of the Ahn Rho Project. Now, what you see is what you get. Take a look at the title, take a look at the side. On the bottom right-hand side right here, what you see is what you get. We have this second live stream of today, and we're going to have four. But the second live stream right here, we're going to cover all these decorations, at least in some very vague detail, before we talk about the logistics and where we're going to toss them back inside the closet, which is, by the way, right behind me, region C over there. And specifically, we're going to put it down to region C6, which is right underneath the jackets. So, what do we have to talk about here today? Most importantly, I should talk a little bit about the context behind this box. Really, this crate was supposed to be closed, and it looks a lot like this actually when it's closed. It's just this thing, and I've had this, I believe, since 6 years ago. Back when I was way back in university, and I have since used it to stash away all the kind of archive decorations for, say, holiday events, as well as gift items from fellow volunteers and staff and colleagues. So it's really kind of like that grandma's attic sort of thing, and I have some trophies in there as well. I don't get many trophies, especially. So it's a bunch of stuff that's just kind of not all too important. It's mostly just for sentimental value, as well as a little bit of a souvenir artifact kind of thing. And so that crate is supposed to belong in here and has been there for almost the past 3 years that I've been living in this residence, which, again, renting out a household with maybe about 5 different families, and I'm just one of the tenants. So it's in there, and I moved it out here because I ran out of space, and the reason why that is, and again, we'll just zoom in a little bit so you can see the stuff that's inside. I took the crate out for logistical purposes. It's just so that I could put on, just like all the stuff on the previous live stream on the top right-hand side right here, all this kind of product for my side business, aside from the one that you're watching right now, which is a separate project. This kind of stuff didn't have a place to go, and I just it was chucked on the floor. It was a total fucking mess. If you check out my previous live streams, it's disgusting, and this project is really supposed to be a way for me to solve that. So I moved this crate outside, and it's really decorations, and they don't belong here at all. And so I opened it, thinking that, after having done the previous live streams, just like the one just about 10 minutes ago on the business products, and I finally cleared them away from region D3. This is D3. D4 is over there. D2 is up there. And D1 is here. Before is all complete mess. We have business products and invoices and paperwork and bags and packaging and more research materials everywhere, all over the goddamn place. And now it's all kind of removed, although it still looks like a mess, because that's all the clothing and the other parts of life, the other domains of life are taking up my space now. And now I can actually get through with this thing. And so I opened it, and I took out some plastic bags at the same time. I said that, I might as well use some of the clutter that's in here for my workplace. So if I turn to the side, I'm getting a little bit flustered. I gotta calm down a little bit because there's a lot of stress right now. But I have all this kind of plastic bags here for my workplace, and I said it would be smart of me if I just take, you get into this, when you become a young adult, that meme about how you just save plastic bags and that's how you become an adult? Yeah, that's kind of it. I had these like 10, 15, 20, 25 plastic bags that were inside mixed in with the decorations. It was a whole fucking mess. And I decided, let's just take it out at the same time that we're also using this crate as a way to put the business product. So I took it out. It's on the side now. And then I took a look inside and realized that it's also a mess. And so why don't I cover some of this stuff here in some detail? In addition to taking out those plastic bags and using it for my workplace, just to clear up the clutter, I also can show on the inside that, during Christmas I made some Christmas cards for someone who was retiring at my workplace, and she's been a fantastic individual, RN. And I'm gonna miss her. She's going to take care. She's retiring, unfortunately, to take care of her father, who's severely ill and over the age of 90. And I can resonate with that because related to all of this, like you see in the title, what you see is what you get. I actually volunteer for a long-term care senior home, so before the whole COVID-19 thing, and I still volunteer now, except I do by phone calling services. Some of these things here are related to that, and just hearing that my colleague, who has really been sort of like an aunt or sort of godmother to me in a lot of ways, because I don't really have that much of a family background. If anything you call a family, it's a broken domestic household issues, right? But the point, we're not getting into that. The point is that I really appreciate RN, and the fact that I won't see her again, I decided to make this card, and you can see the gift. It was, I believe, 2 weeks ago. I made a live stream about that. It was putting a whole bunch of a photograph of all the colleagues together, all my staff, and they're fantastic people at my workplace. I feel, in fact, that I don't fit in because I'm not up to tabs. I'm not anywhere near where the standards I believe I should be at. But I made that card. I put the photograph in there. I bought some gifts, some safe gifts at least, and gave that to her. And so did a lot of the colleagues, and we just kind of said our farewells. And so I decided I can also not just take out the plastic bags and put this kind of stuff in here and find a place. Now, I'm not exactly sure where I'll put it in the crate. It looks like on the inside. We can dive into it now, right? So there's this letter here. This letter here is something that is just a spare. I didn't need 2 letters for RN. And so on the inside, we open it and let's go take a look. We have this stuff from Halloween. I see that there's these hashtags right down here, which I'm supposed to designate what I talk about. So we have, this kind of like a Halloween kind of thing with the feathers and the mask. I really like this kind of stuff, but I don't really use it. It's just kind of like a souvenir that you pick up from Dollarama, which is a dollar store. Something like this is very interesting to me. I like the aesthetic, but that's really not a volunteer item, right? That's just a holiday kind of decor. On the inside, we have some things like this trophy here. It's my first award, I think, of any sort. I became volunteer of the year at the seniors home, and I was at that time volunteering in food services in their health promotion department in a variety of different places. And then we also have inside some things from my workplace, so I was also employee of the month. And so these are things that just remind me of the struggles I had to go through, trying to, I guess, find out where my niche would be out in the world. And so at that time I was working for an agency as well, and I said, I don't really look down on anybody. As far as I'm concerned, I created an entire spreadsheet with a whole bunch of different companies, and I wanted to get to know these communities because they're fantastic communities. One of those was a Spanish and Portuguese community, which was running a business that helped clean up a whole bunch of fire damage and flooding damage to people's homes. So that was very wholesome, and it was a very difficult job, but that was one of them. And then I had 18 different clients, right? So one of them was also focused on renovation, and some of them were very boring, packaging and labor, I'm not gonna lie, and others were more interesting. So that's that, and I became eventually also employee of the month there, so that was very nice. And a big shout out to Express, and that's the company that I had at the time. And so that's that. I have some stuff there that I give something from there. I have some stuff for, like I said, the long-term care housing. And then there's this bag right here, this blue bag, and the inside has a whole bunch of stuff from, I'm going to slow down, get the pacing right. This one I'm not going to flip around. I don't want to show, again, I don't want most of these organizations, that was a mistake there. I shouldn't have said the name of the organization. I want to keep it separate from the Ahn Rho Project, obviously. I don't want anything that I do here on stream, which is I cover the good, the bad, and the ugly aspects of my life. I don't want it to be affiliated with these organizations. Please do not take these to take what I do here on stream to be any endorsement or some sort of, it doesn't represent what the organizations are. But basically this bag is a hospital that I also volunteer at. So there's a hospital, there's, the senior home, there's just, like I said, grandma's attic. This is grandma's attic. Although maybe I'm not a dinosaur yet, but that's, with time comes age, and comes wisdom and experience, and I want to be able to look back onto this kind of stuff maybe 30 years down the road. Needless to say, this bag has a bunch of stuff that comes from my volunteering gig at the hospital, which obviously is not happening right now because of the pandemic. But when I was in information desk and a bunch of different places, and I met a whole bunch of very wholesome, amazing people. Most of them were retirees, but that's fine. I usually get along a lot better with people who have I get along with seniors more than people with my age, unfortunately. And I don't know if that's unfortunate. I think for me, I think that's a great thing, because it speaks volumes about about them, and being able to learn what they've had to go through in their times, which is the 1920s and 50s and before, all that kind of stuff. It puts things into perspective, how grateful and how much you should appreciate the things you have. So this is basically a package. Inside, I know there's a bunch of items I'm not going to cover. Class 4 items, once again, everything that's class 4 is something that's a gift to me from someone else, whether it be staff, volunteer colleagues. And so we dive in a little bit deeper. And we see these plastic bags here. Inside are a bunch of stuff from university days, and there's actually some of these might be class 1 items as well, meaning I bought them myself. So, but it's just some stuff from the relic of 2014 when I was just about to graduate from university. So there's stuff inside there. There may be some medicine, I think, which is really outdated. I can just throw it away. That's class 2, obviously, from my guardians back then at the time. And so this kind of stuff here, again, just mixed in. It's a huge hodgepodge, aside from this kind of awards and stuff like that. I'm trying to dig in a little bit further. You can see the Christmas stuff here. So holidays, you can see there's a hashtag for Christmas stuff. So I'm going to try and make the video a little bit brighter just by moving up here. So a lot of jingles, and so Merry Christmas, guys. Well, it's post-Christmas. And then we have this kind of mask down here that kind of reminds you of something else here, but that was actually a Halloween thing that I wanted to give to my brother, and then he never really wore it, so I took it. On the inside there's some more stuff, but again, I'm not going to dive too much detail into this because this is really something, the details will happen maybe 6 months down the road, when I actually get to this crate and I try to empty it out of the things that I don't need. Right now, again, it's just the main point is that all this kind of stuff I sorted out at the same time that I wanted to put away the retirement gift, the materials that I didn't use inside here as well for my colleague, as well as taking out the clutter, the plastic bags for my workplace. So we have employment, domains of life, right? They're a part of the Ahn Rho Project. The Ahn Rho Project is broken down into, it's a life comprehensive management system. So obviously this has a lot to do with employment, volunteering, garbage, clutter, materials, gifts, artifacts, a lot of organizations and networking. And now there's one last thing I want to cover inside this box before I wrap it up, and there's this thing right here. Why don't I take these things off my foot, these roses, these white and thing roses, and stash them back inside before I talk about that. So it says bonsai tree and flowers. So I think I've talked about most things. Obviously, you see in that title says healthcare, and I've already spoken enough about that. I think long-term care seniors home pretty much summarizes that. But we have this bonsai tree, and it's a good way to end this live stream. It looks brilliant, doesn't it? Well, it looked absolutely fucking hideous on the inside because I had it crushed underneath all the plastic bags and materials. And what I had to do, I spent my time very unproductively during Christmas, at least 1 hour, just trying to, you can actually adjust. I'm going to put these things here on the bed here and show you that they can be unwound. So they're not real flowers, so they're just plastic, and I could unwind them. And back then it was all crumpled up. I can say this is a class 4 item without doubt. I actually, while working for my agency, so that was employment, I also ended up working for the place that I volunteered at. So that was funny. It was across borders, it's just becoming a local business, local organizations. And so one of those units, the seniors moved out and left behind some stuff. And obviously this is one of the things that she didn't want. And I said, well, it looks great. And I decided this would be a nice souvenir between me and my colleague. So I kept it here. And on Christmas, just 2 days ago, I opened up, I tried to make the flowers blossom a bit. And now I can finally put the stuff away, the volunteer stuff right here. Again, everything's class 4. Off stream, we'll clean up a little bit. The cards, I think, I have to put on the side, kind of like right here. You can see a little slip right there, by the way. It says that's the Chinese New Year, so 恭喜发财, that kind of stuff, which is coming up in about 2 months. But I'm not going to use it. So this is the crate of decorations. I can close it up, and then we'll sort it out. And like I said, I'm going to move this stuff in addition to this stuff, which came from a supervisor and the food service department of the seniors home, which is gone now. I miss her very much. But anyways, we'll move that stuff all the way in here, mostly class 4 items. And that's a wrap. So take home message very quickly, 10 seconds. Take care of your health, your finances. Take care of yourself. Make sure that you become strong, disciplined, responsible individual. Hope to see a better version of myself as well as all of you tomorrow morning. Today in the afternoon when we continue with this marathon. Ahn Rho signing out. Ciao.